welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and boy, what a delight for us to have with us today. Looking forward to this. Jeff Kemp, he's Vice President and Catalyst for Helping Others, family life, former NFL player and quarterback for over about 11 years. He played for the 49ers, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Eagles, and now he's quarterbacking for the Lord. He jumps tall buildings, he eats Cheerios.
How about that?
Good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for being with us. How you doing?
Great to be with you. Thanks. I'm doing well.
I want to talk about your book, Facing the Blitz, but before I do, just a couple of quick sports notes. What did you think of the ruling yesterday with Brady and the NFL?
I think I understand that the NFL didn't have a perfect case. By the same token, at the bottom line, we care about integrity and honesty, and I think that was not something that Tom Brady came through with flying colors on. When people are truthful, when they apologize, when they're humble, when they don't double down with kind of a tough legal approach, people are willing to forgive. And that was what was disappointing about how this thing went down. But I think there's a signal all throughout society that we need to go back to integrity, and you can't hide. You're going to get found out. So I guess it's good for the Patriots, and I'm glad a player doesn't get disciplined, but I'd love to see some change in the character of people.
Good for you. Well said. And then Tebow, he threw a couple of touchdowns, but not enough. What do you think?
Tim looked good. He's a competitor. It looks like he's improved his passing a little bit. I still see what the analysts say about him not having the fastest release or being the most accurate or pinpoint passer, but he did a good job in that game. And he's a competitor. And, I heard an analyst, Bill, I can't remember the guy, the former Ravens coach, who said that he shouldn't, Brian Billick, he said, Tim, face it when you can't play in the league. And I was looking at him saying, he can play in the league. He just isn't going to make this team, perhaps. And that doesn't mean that someone might not need a really quality backup quarterback who's not afraid to step in and start. So I commend his perseverance and obviously his character, and I thought he performed pretty well.
Good. Thank you. All right. Facing the Blitz. Interesting. Tell us, why did you take this one on?
Well, I was going to write a book with my dad, Jack Kemp, and then he got ill back in 2008, 2009. We were going to do something on legacy and passing on a legacy of leadership and love. I included some of that in this book. But really, I thought, you know what? I'm not going to be able to write the book with him. He's in this cancer situation. I want to write a book about something everyone faces, which is problems. And I want to take the analogy from the Blitz in pro football, the way you could end up on your back, but if everyone makes the adjustments, if people sacrifice, if you adapt, if you change, if you focus on serving others, get the ball to the wide receiver, quarterback may end up on his back with a big hit in the face, but the ball's in the end zone with a receiver that has carried it for a touchdown. So some of the biggest plays in football come from the most dangerous ones, and that's the way life is. Crisis means danger and opportunity together. And the book of James, Romans 5, 3 through 5, make very clear that our tribulation, our trials, our difficulties are also a chance to get to know Jesus better and become more like him in character and have more hope in heaven. And that's when we feel more of God's love, and then we end up being an ambassador to help others when we use our trial like Joseph did, or like Chuck Colson did, or Johnny Erickson Tada. So I want to write a book about real life, what we go through, and encourage people that there is a way to turn bad things to good.
A couple of things here, Jeff. First of all, I just remembered I had the high honor of introducing your dad at an event here in Southern Oregon, and I got a chance to meet him. Great guy, and just a wonderful, wonderful man. Listen, you're knocked down but not out. You said you went down, but the ball went in the end zone. A lot of Christians get knocked down and they quit. What do you say? What do you say?
Jesus didn't quit. He set his face to go toward the cross. He went into the Garden of Gethsemane and prayed a prayer, God, I'd rather not face this. I'd rather not take the sin of the world on myself. I'd rather not be crucified, mocked, rejected, killed. But if it's your will, I'm going to do this. And of course, that blitz that he went through became the greatest victory ever. And the Bible talks to us about how we should have a heart and pray for a heart of God's love and the perseverance of Jesus. I got to remind people that this world has had many trials throughout the years. Jesus even said, in this world, you're going to get blitzed. Well, that's the NFL version of the Bible. I think it's, in this world, you're going to have tribulation, but don't panic. I've overcome the world. It is in our trials and our difficulties that we draw closer to Christ and our faith in him grows. And we realize our identity is built in Christ and God's love for us, not in our circumstances, not a 401k, not in our job, certainly not in pro football, which goes away quickly, as I found out at age 32.
You talk about some strategies now in turning those trials around. Can you highlight those for us real quick?
Yeah. So quarterbacks have to adapt and adjust if they want to turn the blitz into something that's the same with us. Here's 3 strategies for facing blitzes. They're biblically principled, but they're practical that anyone can apply. Number 1, take a long-term view. Don't just focus on the moment. Just as have a pity party in this situation you're in. Think about the long-term scope of your life. Think about eternity. Think about the power and the importance of your marriage, your character, your integrity, that God can turn bad things to good in the long term. So think long term. Number 2, be willing to change. You might need to become more selfless, more other-focused, less proud, a little less greedy. You may need to plug into the Word of God, into fellowship, and stop being such a lone ranger. But you got to be willing to change, to adapt. Try something new. And then the third one is stop focusing on yourself and encourage and bless others, even when you're in the midst of a trial. I know that sounds like really hard to do and counterintuitive, but when you focus on encouraging other people that are hurting in the middle of your trial, it helps you get out of it quicker. It turns you around. And I have a ton of stories in the book about people that lost a child and found a way to encourage others and then found a ministry to help others through it. People that faced cancer and then had started a ministry to serve others with cancer. People that had a child with spina bifida and started encouraging and mentoring other parents at the Children's Hospital that were just finding out that their children had spina bifida. Serving others gets you out of the blitz. So those are the 3 strategies: long-term view, willingness to change, and focusing on serving others.
You know, it's been said that whatever God has saved you from or brought you through, he'll turn you around and make you a minister too.
Yeah, and the Bible also says that you can comfort others with the comfort with which you've been comforted. Mm-hmm. And God made us as ambassadors for Jesus Christ. You're not living here as just a consumer trying to get God's blessings and hold on to them. And that's one of the biggest challenges. I talk about this in the book a lot. One of the keys to facing blitzes and being other-centered is having an investor mentality instead of a consumer mentality. And this is a consumer society. It trains us, hey, it's all about you. Every product should make you happy. And then you need a new one to get satisfied because that one won't satisfy. That attitude of consumption messes up relationships. It messes up marriages. It messes up our spiritual life. But an investor is saying, I'm going to add value to every person and every place, every relationship that I go to. That's the way Jesus was. And that's what gives us an answer to facing life's blitzes and a much more positive life.
Jeff, what's your goal with this book? What do you want it to do?
I want to encourage people. I want to meet people where they are. Already there have been some people that have found a relationship with Jesus Christ and are in heaven because they heard the gospel story of hope in this book. I wrote it to a very broad audience. It's not a Christianese book. I want people, whether they're a believer or not a believer, to say, wow, there's a bigger perspective to how I can live. And it has a lot more to do with teamwork and investing in others and relating well to others. I use the word lift. I basically want to lift people so they can lift others. And that's kind of the way my dad lifted me, and I wanted to pass that legacy on. And so I want to encourage folks in the trials and tribulations to persevere and turn those around so you can help others in their trials and tribulations.
By the way, you can go facingtheblitz.com. That's the website, facingtheblitz.com. And there are some chapters there you can look up and read. And check it out, facingtheblitz.com. Hey, Jeff, I understand you're doing something unique with the proceeds of this book.
Well, I'm just reinvesting them to help people. So if I make any profits, I'll pass those on to charity and probably to groups like Family Life, who I work for. And I wanted to let people know that if their marriage is struggling or they need help or they want to grow their marriage or they want to help other marriages or get some help parenting, go to familylife.com. And join our team because we can serve you at the Weekend to Remember Marriage Conference, etc. So my goal is to help people and to reinvest so we can live the life God meant for us to live, which is as ambassadors for Christ to bring hope and reconciliation and love to others.
Well, Dennis and the team there do a wonderful job, all of you guys, and I just want to say he's right. Go to familylife.com, and you want more about the book, you can go to facingtheblitz.com. What's next for Jeff Kemp?
Well, I'm enjoying putting together a bunch of videos each week. I put together a 1-minute video called Facing Your Blitz. It's like a weekly blog and about a minute long. And I heard yesterday from a pastor who said there's 34 guys that he sends it out to every week. And there's other folks that are sharing it. So that's been neat. And this fall will bring a lot of speaking. So I'm going to start heading out on the road to speak to men's conferences, to a few marriage events. And I love to point people to the resources of Family Life so they can keep on helping others afterwards.
Thank you, my friend. You're an inspiration. Keep up the good work. Blessings to you, and let's hook up again soon, okay?
I'm happy to. Anytime you want. Blessings on the lives of all your listeners. Thanks.
You too, bud. All right, we'll be right back.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.